You're watching the WINFL show. I'm your host, Ian McKinnon. I'm joined by Mr. Patrick Jackson, and we have a brand new guest on the podcast. And Patrick, why don't you do the introduction for us?
Excited to. Man, I'm really excited to talk to former UCF Knights defensive back, writer for Big Cat Country, co-host of the Duval Die podcast, Jacksonville Jaguars fan. Travis D. Holmes is in the house with us tonight. How are you doing, Travis?
I'm living the dream. I mean, that's not true, but it's the great phrase to say, so I'm going to stick on it. I'm going to stand on that.
Quite right. Quite right, Travis. Well, listen, it's great to have you on the podcast. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. We really appreciate it, especially this week, coming up for the Super Bowl.
It's a big one.
Is this a big one? Now, like Patrick, you are a Jaguars man. So why don't we start off? You give us your quick thoughts on the Jaguars 2025 season and indeed what you're expecting from them in 2026.
Oh, man. I mean, the 2025 season was insane in all the chaotic ways. If you just start with the Travis Hunter trade early, I mean, if that's how you start off your regime, all right, this is probably going to get really interesting really quickly. So you start with that trade to make it happen. The fact that they played the media within the trade, like many people don't really pay attention to those types of things. But I'm telling you, I talked to a lot of agents. I talked to a lot of people around the team as a beat writer for the team. They played everyone. Very few people knew exactly what their thoughts were as far as that trade was concerned to get Travis Hunter. So to pull that off with no one spilling the beans, and then he gets hurt in the middle of the season while they are on a 2-game skid after starting the year 4-1. When I tell you, it was all the emotions of a drama that's of a 3-season Netflix drama. Like that was what it was. It was the up at the start. Everything's he's going through all the turmoil in life. His girlfriend died. Something happened. Like that's the middle of the season for the Jaguars. And then they go on this 8-game winning streak towards the end of the season, and then it becomes this M. Night Shyamalan, end of the season where they lose against the Bills because freaking Josh Allen. It's that sort of a year, but you can still look back on it and say I'm happy it happened. It was like that, and you still have the positive vibes going forward for this Duval fan base. So I think overall it was a great, successful season. You just really wish you were in the Super Bowl right now because these are truly two imperfect teams playing on this coming Sunday, and that stinks.
Well, unfortunately, it's the hand that we've been dealt, and we need to sort of go along with it. But like you're talking about how no one sort of saw the Jaguars coming there. I mean, I remember at the beginning of the season when Liam Cohen was introduced, and he does the whole Duval, and he got mocked for it. Mercilessly mocked for it, and people thinking, who is this clown that the Jaguars have brought in? But by God, did he prove everyone wrong. And as you mentioned, Hunter goes down. They didn't miss a beat. In fact, to some extent, they actually seem to get better. So you've got to think, going into next year, or this year, next season, I should say, that there's a lot of hope in Jacksonville. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's the key that everyone's kind of like harping on. And it stinks because I'm going to be honest with you and say something that most people in the Duval fan base probably won't say, at least out loud. I still have that Jacksonville Duval PTSD of all the previous regimes and the history of the Jaguars, where I'm still like, is it true? I believe it to be true, but is it real? Or is this the Cincinnati Bengals after they go to the Super Bowl and then they never make it back? Like, I'm just asking the obvious questions of, right, are they going to build this thing as something more than what it is? Or are they going to sit on their hands, and just continue doing something that's good, above average team? But if they deal with injuries, they won't be able to do it. Like, I think Liam Cohen, he's earned the respect around the league, and he's shown his chops as a play caller and as a leader of the men of this football team. I still want to see James Gladstone, the general manager, show me that he's that guy to build this organization moving forward. Because I think Liam's shown me what he can do, but moving forward, I need to see that James is going to be able to build this as more than something that we saw as a flash in the pan and actually like a sustained organization that can make the playoffs every year. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Quite right. Patrick?
No, I think the signs are there with Gladstone. I mean, he came in saying he was going to be bold and not be scared to make those bold decisions. And we've seen extensions mid-season, which we didn't see as much under Balky. And the Jacoby Myers one is the one that makes me happiest because making the trade to bring him in the first place is more than some teams did. I know where McDermott took some shots at the Bills ownership on his way out with that sort of negative in mind. So to bring him in and then say, yes, this is a guy we want 3 years at least going forwards beyond this year, an obviously right decision, but you still have to make it and commit to it and find the funds to do it. And he's done it. So it's been a year of highs and lows. Like there was a point mid-season where I said, this is the lowest I've ever been on Trevor Lawrence. And I don't know whether he's what Cohen's going to commit to going forwards. But that was after they just lost to the Rams and the Seahawks, who went on to look like the best two teams in the entire sport by a good step on everyone else. So maybe that wasn't quite as bad as it looked at the time. And certainly that 8-game winning streak at the end brings you that faith back that they're all on board and delivering in the right direction that you need them to. And yeah, they fell short in the playoffs, and that really hurt because it felt like such a missed opportunity for a team. And you don't know when those opportunities are coming around again. Like it can be, once in 5, once in 10 years for some teams. But I think I've seen enough from Cohen and Gladstone to think that they've set a foundation where we can have sustained success, challenging for AFC South titles, challenging for playoff wins. I've got more faith now than I have in a long time, and that feels good.
I think I won't push back on that. And you know how much I love to argue. So yes, the fact that I'm not pushing back on that lets you know that I am truly there. It's honestly just that devil on my shoulder that I'm just like, all right, I still question it, but I'm with you. The aggressive moves by Gladstone, the midseason moves, the moves to aggressively get off Tyson Campbell is immediately within just a few games of the season, and the multiple moves to shed cap from the previous organization let me know that Gladstone is for real in that way. But again, I still need to see him land the draft picks. I still need to see him land on those guys without having those injuries. That's kind of where I'm leaning at.
And I think
do you regret going into your second ever draft without a first round pick?
Actually, I don't have a problem with it this draft. Interestingly enough, they gave up a pick number 24. And if you talk to pretty much any NFL analyst this year, they're telling you that they have anywhere from 10 to maybe 13 first round grades this year. Well, the Jaguars traded essentially, if you want to look at it from that perspective, the equivalent of a second to even middle of the second round draft pick for Travis Hunter from that perspective, because it's such a shallow draft at the top. I'm okay with that if you thinking Travis Hunter is going to be that generational guy to play both sides of the ball. So from that perspective, it's fine.
Yeah, and I think the other thing from my point of view as an outsider looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars, because I'm a Broncos fan from my sins, is that we live streamed that game, Patrick, the Jaguars Rams game, and it was an implosion. They self-destructed in that game. But from then on, they got really good, and they were the only team this year who really outplayed Denver.
Yeah.
The only two losses that they had other than that was the leverage game against Indianapolis, when Indianapolis were on fire at the beginning of the season, and the last-second field goal to San Diego. But Jacksonville came in and spanked the Broncos. Absolutely spanked them.
Yeah.
And it's not like the 2017 sort of Saxonville era. There's a different vibe about this team because went to the playoffs, lost in the playoffs, but the hope going into this next season is, well, apparently from the outside looking in, sky high for these Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yes and no. And I hate being this is who I am on my inside. I swear to you, I don't try to be contrarian. I just think differently in these ways. And because of me playing the game, I played football in college. I a family who were NFL agents and former scouts. Like I just view it differently. And unfortunately, I don't view seasons as additions to the previous one. Like I just view them as their own new thing. And because I view it like, I'm like, why they had moderate injuries this year, but who's to say they don't go through a string of injuries like very many teams this upcoming season? And we're just having a totally different conversation on where your strengths and weaknesses lie on your roster. And because of things like that, I'm just looking at this like, no, they missed an opportunity. Maybe they'll do better next year, but let's see what they build in this offseason to even know what we're arguing about. So from that perspective, I'm looking at this like, yes, the Jacksonville Jaguars showed me everything they needed to show me as far as who the coach was, because I saw how he was making. He was he did a lot with a little. Like he was truly Elmer's gluing and duct taping this thing together with some of the roster, we'll say, limitations on the defensive side of the ball. That's looking at Anthony Campanelli, the defensive coordinator. And on the offensive side of the ball, even the receiver core early on and just how much they had struggles trying to figure out who can play what role. And kind of figuring that out between Brian Thomas Jr.'s hiccups, we'll call them, and Travis Hunter just trying to figure out the game of football and where to line up and things of that nature. I love what Liam Cohen did as like a student of the game in that way. But I still don't know if you're looking at the roster, if you have a better, just a more dominant team that lines up across the ball from you, are they going to consistently be able to beat those teams who also have a great football mind, like a Sean McVay? Like that's what I'm talking about, because that's the one that's showing me everything I need to see. That roster, Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Rams, week 7, that showed me what I needed to see. Like, all right, cool. They're a good team against these guys who have subpar coaches, or maybe they're a good team against guys who have maybe equal rosters. But if you have a equal or better roster and a good coach, or maybe even equal or better, might have a problem. That's you. Let's looking at you, Gladstone. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, it's much to look forward to, and at least we're in the enviable position, and I say that as well as a Broncos fan, that we're not the Jets. We're not the Browns.
That's fair.
And God love my friend Christian, we're not the Raiders. You look at these franchises and you go,
hey, get letters.
It could be worse.
You could have easily substituted that for we're not the Jaguars just a year ago.
Well,
realistically.
You're right. Yeah. You're absolutely right. That's why you had, a high pick in the draft, because it did not work out. But the other thing is, I wanted to talk about very quickly, Trevor Lawrence. The first few years of his career were bumpy. That's a nice way to say it. But he got his big contract, and at the time of the signing of the contract, a lot of detractors saying he's not worth that money. But he had a really solid year this year, a very solid year. And that is something that you can sort of extrapolate, say, well, as long as he does that and doesn't regress again next year, then you can still have some success. Because Lawrence, there was a couple of games he was playing out of his mind. Mm-hmm. And I love Trevor Lawrence. And we were talking about quarterback contracts, I think it was last week, Patrick, wasn't it? With the equivalent guys who are getting paid are in the same as Trevor Lawrence. Mm-hmm. And Lawrence has done a lot better than some of those guys. So
I can see it.
Yeah, a lot to look forward to. But Travis, we do have a game to talk about. It is the Super Bowl. It's the Seahawks and the Patriots.
Yeah.
And we need you to give us a score prediction. I don't know if Patrick has mentioned this, but there is a trophy on the line. Oh. Whoever gets closest to the score will receive a trophy. So, no pressure. No pressure, but what's your prediction for the Super Bowl?
All right, so I'm going Patriots 20. Wait, that's that Patriots? No. I'm going Seahawks 27, Patriots 10. I don't think it's close. I don't think the Patriots are a very good team. I just don't. I think they're a foundationally stout, foundationally solid NFL football team who has a good coach. And if you just line up correctly, you don't shoot yourselves in the foot. You just show up and play reasonably stout defense yourself, which I think the Seahawks absolutely have shown you that they can do. And you don't, Sam Darnold this thing up, like he can have his games. If he's not, as long as he's not having one of those games, I honestly don't know that the Patriots are going to have very much success against that front seven for the Seahawks. I just don't see it. And if I'm wrong, I'd love to be wrong, because I really would like to see an entertaining game. But I think it's a double-digit win for the Seahawks, unfortunately.
I love the phrase, just don't Sam Darnold it up. That
He has his games. Like if the games that he is on, boy, is he on. But the games that he is off, you're like, Lord, are they going to lose against the Jets? Like you don't know what this is. So yeah, don't Sam Darnold it up.
That's waiting for it to happen in the playoffs, and it just hasn't yet.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what? You're absolutely right, Patrick. Everyone's waiting for Sam Darnold to have a Sam Darnold game.
Yeah.
And, he's not done it in the playoffs yet, so we'll wait and see. Thanks for your prediction there, Travis. Appreciate that. Now, do you have a random stat for us?
All right. You want a random stat from this year? Or you want a random stat from the past? I got both.
Why don't you give us both? We love random stats.
Okay. So in 2004, Peyton Manning led the NFL with 49 touchdown passes it was just under 500 pass attempts. So I think it was like 490 something. So in other words, he threw a touchdown on 10% of his passes. And that's currently an NFL record for anyone who had more than 400 pass attempts. That's my random one. Is just like, I didn't love Peyton Manning, but that season he was a freaking madman. Yeah, so that was a big one for me. But one that's more related to this Sunday is, speaking of Sam Darnold. He's 13-0 this year. If you're a gambling person, for the money line. So whenever they're a favorite, he's 13-0, and he's 10-3 against the spread when favored by 6 or more points. So I don't know what the spread is for this week. I haven't even looked.
What was that, Patrick? Sorry,
4.5.
Oh, he's
4.5. So it wouldn't fit that piece of the equation. But yeah, if whenever the Seahawks are favorites, he's 13-0. He's 13-0 so far. So I presume that this should go the way of not, setting new standards. And yeah, I think they're going to be in the 14-0 by the end of this thing being done.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Thank you very much for that, Travis. Patrick, did you have anything else?
No, we've covered a lot and it's been great. Sorry, I'm typing up the random stat in the background.
Yes, Patrick does keeps the records of all our random stats.
That was random stat 619 for what it's
619.
Boy.
Yeah, there you go. So Patrick does that. That's why I asked you, Pat. You had a pensive look in your face. I think Patrick's going to ask something. He was just typing. That's all it was, Travis.
Sorry.
No, it's quite all right. No,
that's good, man.
Travis, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate you coming on. And if you get the closest score, we will be in touch basically as soon as the Super Bowl ends.
All right.
This was a ploy to get a famous person's address, by the way.
So I need a 27 to 10 score. I need that blowout to happen. All right, cool. I need these prizes.
If it comes up 27, if you get it exactly right, that's just another level. Patrick, we might have to change the rules if someone gets an exact score. You could have a trophy.
You get the trophy named after you by default if you get the exact score, surely.
We will if you get the exact score, we will name the trophy after you.
Okay. So who am I competing with? I gotta ask. Now I'm just curious.
So there's a bunch of us. So there's myself and there's Patrick. There's Jake, who also does the podcast with us. Mm-hmm. We've got a few stalwarts from the early days of Christian, who's a Raiders fan. We've got Tim, who's a Cowboys fan. But we've also got some people from what's called the NFL UK sort of community. So there's a couple of guys who used to do presenting on television.
Love it.
And there's a guy who's an author on the NFL. And
I like it. All right, good. So for the pride of Duval, I need to win. Well, I mean, we have two of us at least, so I will.
Yeah, double the
we have a small advantage.
Oh well, actually, there's also the YouTuber Jaguar Gator 9.
I know Jaguar Gator 9. All right, cool.
Oh, right. So he was. We actually did an interview with him just a couple of nights ago. He gave us his prediction. And we've got Will Keys from That's Good Sports. He's coming on soon.
Nice.
So we'll have just all these guys, and whoever gets the closest score wins the trophy. But if you get the exact score, we will name the trophy after that person.
Love it. You can just write my name in pencil. I got you.
Start the etching now, like the Masters.
It's quite the Namath guarantee, but it's close. It's close. I like it. Well, listen, thank you very much for your time, Travis, and enjoy the rest of your day. And, hopefully we will speak to you again soon, because it's been great having you on.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Ian.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Travis Holmes.